Good morning, everyone. I'm Mandy. Welcome to Tech for Good first virtual workshop, the Insight Inception Journey into Data Analytics. Before the class start, every participants need to fill in the pre-survey form by using the link that I pinned in the chat or scan the QR code. And then before the class end, participants also need to fill in the post-survey form by using the same QR code and the same link so that we can collect your feedback about the workshop for future improvement. Okay? And so before the class start, can we open our camera a while to take a group photo? Everyone, you already wake up? Let me stop presenting first. Can you open your camera for just a while and then we take a photo? Let me change the height. Okay. Okay, yeah, got one student already open your camera. Very good. Yonglun, how about others? I know everyone's still in the sleepy phase lah, but then no choice, we need to take a photo for a record lah. You can put some beauty effect on your face so that look won't not so sleepy. We wait for 1 minute to let you open the camera first. Yes. How about others? Yongyi, Yiwen, Jiahong. Hey. Yes. Justin, why your face so dark? Any problem? Oh yeah, I saw your face. Okay. Tarani, Yiwen. Yeah. Good, everyone. Okay, so 10:07, we take the photo, huh? Okay. Okay, so yeah, you help me to take a photo.
All right, so is everyone ready? In three, two, one. Okay, one more. In three, two, one. All right, thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you for your cooperation. Yes, you can close the camera. Wow, so fast, everyone. Okay, so later I will post I will send again the survey link in the chat box so everyone help me to fill in before the class start. And then now let us welcome our workshop instructor. She is come from Utah. She is Dr. Nolana. So Dr. Nolana, over to you now.
All right, thank you. Thanks a lot, Mandy. All right. All right. I'm sharing my screens. Okay, you guys can see.
Yes, we can see the slide now.
All right. Okay. Very good morning to everyone. So for our first workshops today, we start on journey into data analytics. So my name is Dr. Nolana Muslim. I'm an assistant professor from FICT, Faculty of Information and Communication Technology, University Tunku Abdul Rahman. Okay. And basically, this is the proposed agenda for our today's workshop. Um, but I hope that there's no delay for the times, right? So at first we'll start on the introduction to data analytics, and then in between I will have a recap topics on the Python, and also some guideline for the installations, and then we will having a break at 1 to 2 o'clock, and then we'll proceed with hands-ons with the topics data cleaning and preparations, and also exploratory data analytics at 2 o'clock. And then we'll proceed the statistical concept at 3 o'clock. And the final topics will start at 4. Hopefully we can end by 5 o'clock. And then after 5 o'clock, I will give some small project as the assignment to see whether you can understand the concepts in this data analytics, right? Okay, so first of all, I would like you to access these materials. You can scan this QR code. I have uploaded two PDF files in the link, right? One is for the data analytics lecture slide, and also the Python's uh, slides, also materials related to the hands-ons, something like hands-on number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and also the raw data that we will try to analyze in today's workshops, right? Okay, I will post the link. You can scan now, or I can share you the link for you to click, right? Yeah, this is the link. Alright, I have posted the link in the chat sections. Okay, or you can scan this QR code. Is anyone having problem to download? Please let me know. Okay, so I'll give you time around 1 or 2 minutes for you to download before I proceed. Alright, is that okay? Can I have feedback from the participants? Is anyone having problem to download the materials? Can you let me know? Alright, Sing Yi. Alright, thank you Doris for your response. Sing Yi Wen. Okay, I shall wait for a few minutes.
Dr. Nalena, maybe you can pin your the link at the chat box
Alright.
so the latecomer also can download the things. Yeah.
Yep, thank you for the reminder. Alright, for those who just joined, right, you can refer to the chat message. There is a Google link drive for you to download the materials. Okay, it's include the lecture slide and also the raw data for us to analyze into this workshop. will proceed in 1 minute. Yeah. All right. Okay, so let us start. Right. So let uh, us see what is the definitions of the data analytics. Right. So data analytics include a process. Okay. So we have a process of inspections. Right. So there's inspections where we have to check and classify what types of raw data that you have in order to analyze. And also we have cleaning process or cleansing, and then including the transformations, uh, what we have to transform from the variables that involved in the data sets. Okay, and then if we required some kinds of modeling, that is the purpose for discovering useful informations. And from that information, we need to decide what types of conclusions or decision making statement that support the decision making, right? In other definitions, basically this data analytics is one of the field where it involves the science of analyzing raw data, okay, to make conclusions about the informations. Okay. Um, This involve the process that probably the tools in that data analysis process, okay, that we call through the algorithmic process to derive insights. That means what are the significance, okay, that we can run through the various data analysis techniques. So this techniques is the one that the person involved in this field, okay, um, to decide whether which is the suitable methods or which one is the suitable techniques, okay, to achieve or to solve the targeted objective. Right. So now we see from Joel Renas, he says that these analytic value escalators is increasing from the information to the optimizations. Okay. At the first stage, at the beginning, it involved this descriptive analytics. So some kinds of research question that is involved is we want to investigate what is happens. Moving forwards to the second level, there is a diagnosis where we intend to answer why did that case happens, and then to the predictive analytics, what will happen, right? It means that we want to predict what will happen in the future. And the last stage include the prescriptive analytics, where we utilize the predictive result to check whether how can we make it happen. Okay, so the difficulty will be from the hindsight to the insight and also to the foresight. Right, so the process involved in this are the components such as data collections, data processing, data analysis, and also data visualizations. So we will see this process into this workshop. So this data analytics is very important to help for those who are involved in the top management, for instance, okay, so that the organization can understand vast amounts of data quicker and more efficiently. So these vast amounts nowadays it is called as the big data. Right. There is a common myth in this data analytics, okay, involve of the complex analysis and some kinds of big words that might impress the audience, okay, because most people appreciates practical and understandable analysis results, right? But does not investigate why these things happens. And uh, it is not true actually when analysis comes after all the data are collected. Okay, because we need to check whether the originality of the data, is there any data is missing, is there any data is not in correct formats, right? And what we should do is actually we should think about analysis upfront so that we can collect the right data. And then when we have standalone data, it has meaning where data must be analyzed and interpreted to generate informations, right? Numbers do not speak for themselves. But actually, numbers uh, does not really, right? It's actually speak for themselves, but we can't detect actually. So, static limitation to the analysis weaken the evaluations. Okay, but it is not true at all because all analysis um, not all analysis have weaknesses. We should be honest, actually, and be responsible to acknowledge them. Right, and you need to differentiate between these two fields involve data science and data analytics, right? So actually, data analytics is a part of data science, and might be you might be seeing that this data analytics is having relations to machine learning, whereby this machine learning actually is in the field of data science. So what is the data science? So these fields use scientific methods and algorithms to extract knowledge and insights from structured and unstructured data. Okay, so what types of unstructured data you will see after this one? I will introduce about different types of data. Right, in this data analytics, okay, so there's a process inspecting the data sets, right, in order to find out what is the insights from the information using specialized techniques. Okay, and then you also have to differentiate between the terms of data analytics and also data analysis, right? So basically, this data analytics, what you can do and what is the benefits of using this data analytics, we can predict the future trends. For instance, business can predict something that stay ahead of the curve, right? When you want to predict the customer behavior, for instance, right? So that they can remain competitive in the field. But so what is the data analysis? So this data analysis provide business with historical insight. So we are going to process previous data and then get what is the result from that, and then we have to report what is the decisions that we can help to the top management, for instance, so that they can understand the performance and areas of the improvement happens in the company. Right. So one of the common benefits actually through this data analytics, okay, in the company, we hope that this analytics improve customer insights. So this data analytics can be conducted on different data sets. Okay. For instance, from various customer data sources that we can collect it, such as the third-party customer surveys, or it can be from the customer purchase logs, social media activities, okay, computer cookies, where we can do scrapping from the systems and also from the website or applications, okay, statistics. Right, so from these data collections, right, what we can hope that through this analytics it can reveal hidden informations, okay, so that we can identify what is the customer preferences, so we can recommend some things to the customer. And then we this analytic also can reveal popular web pages on the website, the length of the time customers spend browsing, right, also the customer feedback and interactions with forms, right? So this enable business to respond efficiently to customer needs and increase the customer satisfactions, or we can call this as customer user experience, right? In a specific field, for instance, in the healthcare, yeah, okay, in specific fields, nowadays in Malaysia also, it has been implemented. Okay, whether these analytics can be helps for improving patient care, manage disease, and also reduce the cost. In certain healthcare, let's say like KPJ, they use previous historical patient data to predict readmissions. And then in terms of finance or in banking, they use this data analytics because this banking keep the records of the customer activities, and then they perform the risk analysis, and then they can prevent the fraud detections, and also they can manage the customer data. So one activities that might be benefits is through the credit scoring models. to determine the creditworthiness of the loan applicants. Right, in a real and big case, actually, in the e-commerce, we have Netflix and Amazon. Actually, they use the result from this data analytics and together with data science, okay, to recommend system based on users past activities. And Walmart use these data analytics methods in their supply chains to optimize the sales data analysis, right? So you can see that now this analytics is very useful, right? And is required. In terms of analytics life cycles, there are four phases actually. The first one is involve the problem identifications, okay? Then we have the data itself, okay? Then we have building the models, but basically in today's workshops we are not going to build any models. We only do this data analytics from the results. Hence we will learn what decision making that we should make from the results. And then the last phase involve the result monitoring. So in this problem identifications, we are supposed to identify or formulate the problem. At least you can identify what is the problem statements, and followed by the data preparations, okay, to the second stage. So in these data preparations, you have to explore the data, transform and select if it's required, and then from that, the clean data, once we have prepared, then we can proceed with the data building and validate it to the deployment, and also we have to evaluate and monitor the results. Right, so what we should do in these problem identifications, right? So in these problem identifications, you are supposed to discuss the effects of the problems, or we can identify roots cause of the problem. In certain case, we might consider too much existing research and informations. Okay, for instance, in agriculture, if you want to predict something about the climate change, maybe we have to create the problem uh, identification from different situations. For instance, from the pest and disease control, and also we need to get from the biodiversity perspectives, and then we have to merge these kinds of informations. Okay, also we can develop detailed problem statements on a specific case. So these problem identifications, of course, it will be proceed to the solutions, how we can solve these problem statements. So there are main characteristics, right? So include the first one, the questions in the problem identification should be of interest, okay, to the audience. Second one, the question has not already been answered, okay. And third one is the question stem from valid correlations framework. For instance, we in this stage we might need earlier investigations, right, about is there any relationship. So probably you have to run certain process earlier. And then number four is to the question should be answerable, okay. Means that we have to create the statements that this question can be answerable, right? And then should be specific. So in the process of data collections, right, how we can collect this data? Of course, in certain cases, this data will not be depends on suddenly that we can create it, but in different situations we need to find out and identify what types of the sources for this data. Okay, so we can divide into two types. First one is the internal, such as we can collect the data from the company database or to the CRM in terms of their management system. For the external sources, maybe we can have through social media. Let's say we have data from the Twitter, and then you want to do some analysis. So in order to do that, you will need to uh, get an approval from the Twitter or the X platform, where we have to create the API platform, and then request, we need to get the permission from the X platform that we want to do the data analysis first. And then once we get the permissions, then you can use the data, okay, for you to do the analysis. Okay, so that is for examples of the social media. Also, we can have get we can access through the public data sets. This one might be involved the third party, such as from maybe from the police departments or from the hospital, and so on. Right. So some methods that commonly used is the survey and questionnaire, we do web scraping. Okay, let's say we want to do data collections on hotel review, okay, for instance, and then you have identified that the platform that you want to do the web scraping is on maybe through the Google or maybe or TripAdvisor, right? So you can decide, okay, what is the methods in order to do the web scraping, or it can be through the API data collections. But between these various methods, right, you need to emphasize the importance of is there any ethical considerations that you need to consider or you need to apply for, or in terms of data privacy. Right. So for the considerations, you need to make sure that it should cover the quality and also integrity. Quality means that the data that you are supposed to collect should be accurate and also complete and reliable. Okay, in terms of integrity, it should be consistent and trustworthiness, right? Okay, so let's see this data. Okay, from this table, right? Okay, okay, so from this simple table, let's say this is the recorded data from um, two persons, right? This Daniel Johns. So this is the guy's name. It has age. Okay, this is the detail for this Daniel John with the contact number and also locations. And we have the second person, which is Audrey here, right? And with this person's age and the detail of the contact and the locations of these persons. So you can see that in terms of age, they are recorded. Actually, there is a second person. So Audrey Hill is actually the third person. The second person, but the second person is missing the names, right? Actually, right? And then it has a different format of the age. And if we compare in terms of the contact number, we can see this data has different formats, right? In terms of location also, the name of Kuala Lumpur and also KL might be having different meanings, but in this case we have to do standardizations, right, for these different types of data. So due to this case, this lots of potential incorrect data due to the instrument faulty, maybe machines or the system, and it can be to the human or computer error, right? Okay, so there is a possibility that there is uh, there is exists of the noisy data, right? Noisy data, something in this case, the name is missing, right? The second name person is missing, and then there is also inconsistency between the formats, right? In terms of the location and also the contact number. Okay, so for this data, whatever you want to do analysis, first one, you need to classify different types of data because it is very crucial, right? So this data can be divided to two types mainly. First one is the qualitative, second one is the quantitative. Okay, right. So what is the meaning of qualitative? Right. So this qualitative, in other words, we call it is the categorical, okay, or categoric variables or categoric data. So it is based on the descriptive. Now, under this qualitative, we have two types. Okay, one is nominal type, also the ordinal one. So what is the difference? Okay, so this qualitative data, for instance, is the color of the shirts. We have red, green, blue, for examples. Okay, or it can be taste, such as delicious and so on. Okay, or maybe we can have tasty. Okay, so this qualitative data does not have numeric value, right? So for this qualitative, we can group either to nominal or ordinal. Nominal, something like we have name variables, such as USA, Ireland, or Malaysia. And ordinal means that we have variables or data with natural or ordered categories. Or in this case, we can have a rank um, data, right? Okay, maybe we have agree, disagree. So that kind of example is the ordinal and the qualitative data. Right. So this quantitative second type, this quantitative data is numerical, and this numerical also we can group it into two types, right? Why either is a discrete or continuous. First type is discrete or continuous. So discrete quantitative data, for instance, the whole number, it is the numeric value that represent the whole number, or it can be the numbers that we use for counting. Okay, some things like we if we want to count the number of cars, so we start count from 1 to 3. So that is discrete value. Right. Second type is the continuous, right? Okay, continuous. For instance, the weight of the persons, uh, the BMI of the persons, okay, the height of the persons, or it can be the temperature in the rooms. Okay, so this continuous represent that numeric variable can be measured between or different conversions units, right? Okay, for instance, the height, we can measure it based on the meter, or we can measure it based on the centimeter, or it can be based on the inch, right? And then for the weights, we can measure a person's weight based on the kilogram, or it may be based on the pound, right? Okay, so this is an example for the quantitative data under the continuous, right? Okay, so for you have questions, is there anything you want to ask here? All right, I can respond from the participants? How is it so far? Questions? You have questions so far? All right. So no questions. So I'll give you questions, right? I'll give you questions just to test your understandings, right? Okay. Uh, Now I have this person's, this famous guy. Now there is the information about this guy, right? Kim So Hyun, right? Right. So pictures to the right. So there are items that I want you to classify what types of variable on for this guy, right? So there are 7 items that I want you to classify. I think I'll give you maybe 1 minute. Is it okay for you to try? Okay. So classify either it is qualitative, nominal, or ordinal maybe, or if you want to describe qualitative only also can, but for the quantitative we need to describe either is this discrete or continuous, right? All right, so you just maybe you can type on the chat sections on the message parts, right? Okay. Okay, I'll see your answer after this. Maybe you can just put down something like number one is maybe quantitative discrete, number two quantitative and continuous, right, and so on. Let's try. Right. Okay. Okay, you just type your answer, right? Let me see your answer. Okay. One, no one, anyone can post the answer. Just try. You can just try. Can understand or not, you guys? Okay. All right. You are supposed to you are supposed to try all right, not one on not only one. See what's the answer. 1 2 4, right? 3 5 7. All right. Okay. All right, good try. Seeing Yiwen, right? Good try. Taran also good try. Okay, that's it. Let's see the answer. Right, so this black shirt is qualitative, right? Because this is categorical, right? And then also the short hair, the birth of dates for this guy, 16th February 1988. And then this guy's height is 5 feet 9 inches tall, is quantitative. The types to be specific is a continuous, right? And then the age is quantitative, continuous, and this guy personality is the qualitative, right? And then number of words that this guy's well is quantitative and discrete. Okay, so hope you can differentiate these types of variable for the data, so that we can understand how we can apply what is the methods or techniques in the data analysis that we will proceed after this, right? Okay, now move on to the data set. So since you are having familiar how to differentiate those types of data or the variables, uh, in this data analytics, there is a common term that we call as the data sets, right? Okay, so these data sets includes collections of records. Okay, for example, collections of bank transactions, um, phone call records from the telecommunication company, test results, and also the service record. Uh, and in this each record, they have a set of attributes. Okay, so data analysts will call these data sets, this is attributes. It is rarely they call as variables or the um, data only. They will call what is the attributes in your data sets. Okay, so these are the attributes for examples. So this is the record. Okay, so we can have the attributes involve the data, the number, the description, the transfer, right? These kinds of are the deposit value, withdrawal, and balance. Okay, so this is the header in this record. So this header we call as the attributes. So these data sets, now when we involve with vast amount of data, okay, so this data set can be structured, right, unstructured, or semi-structured. So what is the meaning of these three types? Okay, structured data means any data recorded and organizedly made into rational database. In other words, you can see the table. Okay, previous examples. Okay, this rational database is there is a different database management in the company. So there is a common term that we use in database. In big company, they call as the rational database. And the second type is the unstructured. It's involved to any data that has not been organized, right? Compared to the structured. Structured means that it has been organized way, but unstructured is not on organized way. And then we have semi-structure, whereby it can be a combination between structured and also unstructured data. Okay, so let's see, this is an example. So this is example previous records. We have data which is labeled and you can search easily, right? So let's say in this record, let's say I want to see under descriptions about the phone company only. So I can just refer to this phone company, right? And then we can see that it is easily for us to search, right? So this is an example of structured data. Okay, for this unstructured data, it is not labeled and then involve continuous text, and it can be data embedded inside. Okay, and then it's not easy, it's very difficult. So when you want to search something or query, it's not in easy way, right? So something like these facts or statements, we have the lawyer of Aaron Hernandez issuing the National Football League and so on, right? Okay, so you see that it is very long, so and it has a continuous text. Okay, so this is an example of the unstructured data. Right, for the semi-structured data, instance is the emails, okay, because this email keep the record who is the sender, recipients, date, time, and other fixed fields, okay, that is added to under structures. Right, so you can see there's a combination between the structures because maybe there's a part, maybe you can find out who is the person sender, and then unstructured is the maybe is the content of that email, right? So this is semi-structured data. Now moving forward to the process of data pre-processing. Okay, so what is the task or steps in this data pre-processing? First one is data cleaning. So what is the meaning of data cleaning? Okay, some tasks that we need to do is we have to remove the duplicates, and then in this cleaning also we have to handle the missing value. In this case we need to decide whether we want to replace the missing value with the mean, okay, or the average. It can be with the medians or with the modes. Okay, so this is the task or uh, process involved in this data cleaning. Okay, then second one, there is data normalization. So in this data normalizations, probably we need to do scaling to standardize the range. Okay, for example, we have to scale the income data between 0 to 1 range. Okay, so to do this scaling, you have to decide what is the purpose, why you have to do that kinds of methods. Okay, so what is the reason behind? And then we have data transformations. So in this data transformations it is something that involve the categorical variables, right? That means for qualitative variable. Okay, so maybe from the survey we have the records that the customer answer yes and no. So in this case, when we want to do data analysis, this yes and no you have to convert to a numeric number. Okay, for instance, yes is one, zero is no, right? And then you can proceed with this data analysis. So what is the purpose of this pre-processing? This is to make sure that you have very quality or good data, because if the data is very poor, it is not a good quality, so it might affect the result. Okay, that means that any decision making statements that is uh, involved at the end of the process might be not accurate, right? Okay, so the main objective in this cleaning and also data preparations is for removing the duplicate entries, right? Or maybe to fill or remove it, you have to make sure that, for instance, the correct data types. Okay, we must have correct data types. So for instance, let's say we have data recorded in the dates. So this date, maybe you need to convert it to the date and time formats. Even from the dates also, if we want to extract only the months from the dates, right, informations, so you can extract it. Okay, so you have to make sure what are the correct data types. Okay, in this is some important remarks, okay, about the cleaning and transforming process. What to do in specific case. So if we have data that may occur in single of data, or it can be multiple sets of data which require files to be merged. So what you are supposed to do, alright? So let's say we have some kinds of record number one, and then we have a record number two. So you want to combine these attributes. So maybe two attributes from record number one, then we have three attributes from record number two. So in this case, you need to merge, right? So the new record will involve five attributes. Okay, so this process is the consolidate multiple data sources, right? And what to do when there is a case, there is mislabeled data, right? Okay, mislabel, maybe typo, or maybe the description for data that we get from the company is not correctly labeled or filled. So you have to find and label. Okay, in this process you have to find and replace it with correct label. Okay, if there's any missing or incomplete data, so what we are supposed to do? So we have to find or replace, or maybe we have to delete. So whatever reasons between these three you need to justify why you have to delete, maybe why you have to replace it, right? Okay, typo and spelling errors is based on the find and replace. And also if data types is incorrect, then you have to decide to change the data types. Right. So benefits of data preparation is, of course, basically on the quality assurance, right? So that we can fix errors quickly, produce very top quality data. Also to make sure that we can obtain best analytic results, and also to make sure that we have better business decisions. Right. In this um, data analytics, we will try the tools with using Pythons, right? Basically, we will try for today's hands-on based on the Python through Jupyter Lab, right? So why it is Python, right? So this Python is versatile programming language. I know that this Python is popular, right? And um, very famous Python library will be based on pandas. So this panda is a very important one. So through data science also they use this pandas library, and other different data engineering also they use pandas library. So what is panda library? So it is one type of Python library that provide data structure and also data analysis tools. Right. So this is the current record from the table index, right? Um, this one I collected it from this website, Theobex Index, as May 2024. So Python is the uh, most required or the popular language. Okay, it has 16.33%. Right. So it means that if we compare last year, right, May 2023, Python still number one. Okay, so the top five you can see C, C++, Java, and also syntax, right? So that's why this Python is very powerful. Okay, and then some of the top companies using Python, as you can see here, we have Netflix, right? Facebook, Google also, IBM, Spotify, and so on, right? So these top companies are using Python, and these skills required for their job vacancies. Right. In this record of the most demanded programming language, okay, last year, 2023. Now you can see this from the devjobscanner.com. Um, Python is the second highest, right? It's counted as 16.64%. So this is based on the number of jobs and the programming language skills that required. The highest one will be JavaScript or the TypeScript. It has statistic of 29.8%. Okay, so Python is second highest. Right. So okay, we will see some introductions about the Python after this, right? Okay. So I will start again. Okay, I will stop at this slide. Right. Uh, we resume back, but this one I will should introduce a bit about Python as an introductions for you to start with. Maybe some of you having backgrounds, okay? Maybe some of you having backgrounds. Yeah, sorry, I misplaced it. Okay. So before we start with some practical of the data cleanings and also the pre-processing, so there's some important things that you need to know about the Python programming, right? These are some features of Python programming, right? So it is free and the user can use it and modify. Also, you can redistribute once you have some applications inside. So this Python comes with large standard library, and also you can have some interpreted functions, very interactive. Okay, it is very users friendly and also very powerful to develop as their applications. or apps. Right. So for you to download and also install, I think I provide the installations guide before this, right? Okay. So I will just skip about this download. All right. Okay. So we move forward to the statements, indentations, and also the comments. Right. Okay. So in this Python codes, right, what you have to know is about the statements and also the comments, right? So the comment will be noted by these kinds of hashtag in front, right? These hashtag symbols. This is to show if you want to put a comment or remark on your workspace of your Python. So you have to put this hashtag in front so that the compiler will read this as the notes or the remark, right? This is not as the coding that the compiler should run, right? Okay, so for the statements involved here, whatever variables that you want to do, you can assign it with a specific names. But you have to make sure that once you give the name for that value or the variable, you have, if you want to recall back, you need to recall with the same spelling, right? Okay, in the statements, let's say we have a equal to 2, and then you can have b equal to 1 plus 2 plus, then you can separate it between the lines, right? Between the lines, so we call it as the multi-line statement with this case. In this case, right? Okay, with this case, this is the case of multi-line. Okay, this one is multi-line. So you can display back using the print functions, print, and then in bracket followed by b. So whatever variables that you want to display, you can just use print and call back with the same variable name. Okay, we have other way for the multi-line, something like this one, right? Okay, so we have 1 plus 2 plus, and then you can separate just using the bracket and enter it, and then you can display using print c. Okay, so either you use this way, or you can use that using these brackets in open and close brackets with this functions of enter in your program, right? Okay, next, some important remarks is about the indentation. So this indentation is very important because it is very case sensitive in Python, right? Let's say we have some coding here, right? Using this for loop, I haven't include this for loop. I will explain after this. But assume that this is the coding that you are supposed to uh, work with your with the Python workspace, and then we need to prepare in the coding. So if we have difference, and this is the meaning of the indentations, right? Okay, you see some space between these sites, right, these locations. Okay, and then some tasks that should be within the body or outside the body, right? This is basically the task that is belongs to this for loop, because this is within the for loop body. So the task actually will be uh, this repeatedly do, right, in this process, because this print I is the task that supposedly to display repeatedly, many, for how many times depends on the number that we count here, right? If we compare different indentations, correct, this print I do not have indentation compared with the previous coding. So this print I is exactly follow the indentation same with this for loop, right? So that means this is outside of the for loop body. Okay, so this means that this print I is the task that does not belong to this for loop. So the task will be um, done for only one time, okay, compared to the previous coding. Okay, so that is the important part for the indentations, right? So we have other examples through define functions, right? Okay, you can see that this is the indentations, right? Display name, and then if we put some kinds of the information structure inside here, right, inside the body of define functions. Okay, and then we call back the function of the display name. Okay, so you see that we have different outputs, correct? Can you see this is it has different outputs. One is this part, and then the print how are you is going on different functions, right? Okay, next, working variables in the Python, right? Okay, so let's see what is the meaning of variables. So inside Python, there is variables that no need to declare explicitly uh, to reserve memory space. So if we compare with C or C++, these specific variables you have to declare what types. Okay, so let's say in the C, let's say we have I have some formula that I want to compute using average, so I have to declare this average. So what is the input for this average? Maybe from the marks. So this average and the marks should be declared what is the type. So maybe this average is the floating number, and then the marks is the integer, or maybe floating numbers. So it is quite complicated if each of these variable that we need to declare. Okay, so this through this Python, um, there's no need to declare what types of the variable. It is already identified in the workspace. So these declarations happen automatically when we assign. So let's say a equal to 2, so it is already know it is an integer. So if we declare x equal to 2.5, so the Python can recognize this is a floating number, right? So to declare it, we can use these equal symbols comes together, right? Okay, then let's look on the first types of variable that we call literals or the numbers. So what is the numbers here? Refer to the quantitative informations, right? And in addition to represent commands to print out lines, so you can use expressions that can represent numbers and methods of combining numbers. So integer and floating number work as similar to other language like C or C++, right? Except here, there's no need for us to declare. Now let's see at the number 17 here. We have some computations involved. Sum equal to 20 plus 33, right? Right, so and then we want to print this sum. So the total is actually 53, yeah, 53. And then if we want to check what is the types of this variable, then you can see type sum, then they display as this sum is under class of integer. Now, when we have something that we want to do divisions, right? Divide equal to 6 over 2. Then print the divide, okay? Because there is any divisions, right? Divisions. Even 6 over 2 will give us 3. But in this pattern, they can see that's a possibility that, let's say, these other numbers will be replaced, okay, for this 6. So it might produce or different floating numbers, okay? So for this divide, when we check the type of this variable is float class, okay, this float. Okay, now other symbols that integers and floats working will be under the process of the symbols. Let's say we have 3 times 4, so it will be noted by this kinds of symbol, okay, this asterisk symbol. For power, you can use asterisk 2 times, okay, this means power 3 to the power of 2, or you can have a specific power function which is POW in bracket 2 4. So this means this C as 2 to the power 4, right? So this is other computed values. All right, so instead of having print under display functions, right? If you want to display, let's say x equal to 2, y equal to 5, right? So commonly we can just use print and then use the double quotes inside, okay? Then we put what are the variable that you want to display. You can use also these kinds of formats. This is quite good, especially if we have lots of variables involved in the displaying the statements, right? Okay, just put f in front, and then whatever variable that you want to include in the statement, okay, you can just use these kinds of curly bracket, right? So you can see here other types, x equal to 2 for this variable of integer, and then we can call back x, then we have display as 2, and then what is the type, you can just type in bracket x, then it's been recognized as integer. And now moving forward to the floats, right? So we have samples here. Pi equal to 3.142. This is floating number, means that is a number with decimal place. So when we call back here the type, it is float, right? Then if we declare that we assign that y equal to 3.5, so what happened? So y equal to 3.5 actually is a floating number, right? So when you change this floating number through this command int in bracket y, so it will be changed to 3. So this is the outputs. If we round off this number y, right, 3.5, then you can see round off to 4. Okay, now float x, let's say we have x is 2. This basically when we assign is actually integer type, and then we have float x, the display will be 2.0. Okay, so this is in terms of changing the data types from integer to float, and also from float to the integer. Okay, in terms of arithmetic, so any arithmetics will be follow what we have learned during elementary school, right? In terms of the bracket, the divisions, multiplication, addition, and subtractions, right? So this Python will all following the order of the operations, and also the Python can read the parentheses, right? So in the line 36, you can see in the slide, line 36, we don't have any brackets. So the result of the task in line 36 and with line 37 have different result, even though line 36 additionally it has parentheses or the brackets, right? So there's two outcomes shown here. Okay, next, the second types of this is based on the literals, okay, for the variable. So these strings, you can display any strings or any statements inside the print, okay, function using this kind of symbol. There are several ways actually, okay, and put down inside whatever statement that you want to display. Okay, so what happens if we use these kinds of single quotes? You can use without the print, okay. And what happened to this double quote, right? Can see the difference. And then if we have print hello includes with this kinds of way, we have this single quote hello, and then followed by star 3, right? Asterisk 3. This means that this statement will be displayed for 3 times. So in short form, you can do this way, okay, without using the for loop and so on, right? Other way is you can combine every statements. So we have this single quote here, combine using plus, right? And then another combination of single quotes. Okay, you can proceed with other continuity after this if you want to try with. Right, next is the boolean. So this boolean is variable inside Python. Okay, so we can identify the operator based on less than, more than, equals to. See that this equals we have having symbols of equal, and then we have not equal. Okay, so this boolean value, let's say we have variable result is 5 less than 2. So we know that this is wrong, right? This is false statement. So when we try to print the result, so if we have false, so this is the one that evaluated based on the given boolean statement. The logic statement. So this is actually logic statements. Correct. And then we see what is the type of the result. We have types boolean type. Now considering next example, we have 2 equals 3. So we know this is false, right? This is not true. Then we have this evaluated value, and 5 not equal to 10. This is true. You can see that the outcome will be displayed as true. Okay, next is the list, right? So this list might close to the way of the matrix symbols when we want to declare and evaluate matrices, right? This is from the linear algebra topics. It's quite similar. So it is under the list. So this list is actually the collections of one or more data types. It can be numbers, strings. Also, you can combine with boolean. So when it is numbers, it will be based on the matrices. Right? Okay, so the list, how to declare it. So let's say I have this list 1, 8, 3, 4, 5, and I assign as variable A. Right, so I want to see A0, what is the meaning? So this is actually A0. Okay, this is A0. So this is A1, right? So 5 is A 4. Okay, so this looks like an array concept. So A0 is actually the memory served in this Python. So if you want to use and anything you want to use any index of the list, right? So you need to identify this index and the other things such as the length. And if you want to sort, you can sort it. Right, so A0 is 1. A with A dot index 3, right? A dot index 3. So how we can find it? Then you can find the length of this A. So length is how many elements inside this list, right? And then you can sort this A. Okay, using sort only inside the bracket when it's empty without the reverse. So the list will be sort in ascending order. Okay, you can see that we have now having output of the ascending order 1, 3, 4, 5, 8. So if you want to change it to the descending order, so you just include reverse is true. Okay, so this is the coordinate you include inside the brackets as the reverse equal to true, so the list will be sort as a descending order. Now if you want to request user to key in input, so also based on the variables, how you can use this variable. Let's say we have hi. Okay, so some kinds of questions, so we want to having some interactions with the user. What is your name? Okay, so you can just use this function of inputs. So this input work for numbers or not non-numbers such as the text. Okay, so what's your name? So we want the Python to read it, and then you can print and then call back this sets with this name. Okay, so you can see this is the outputs. What's your name? Then when the user interact or type the user's name, and then this is the response, right? Okay, next one. Okay, this is very important control functions in the Python. We call flow control. Okay. Okay, first one is the while loop. How to use while loop? Okay, so this is actually the flow chart for the while loop. So there are two types of loop. Okay, one is the while loop. We have do while also, and also second one is the for loop. Okay, so let's see for this while loop. This flowchart represents the process involved in this while loop. Okay, usually to start with while loop, okay, um, to start with while loop, right? First one, there must be initializations value. Okay, so this is actually the loops, okay, from here to here. This is the loop of the while. So inside this while loop, we have variable name which is counter. Okay, counter less than 5. Then this is the task that we are supposed to do, print and increase the value of counter, right? Okay, see the last print here, counter complete, is not does not belongs to the while loop, but it's actually this is at the end of the process. So the task counter complete will only be displayed once, right? So for this loop using while, you must have an initializations, right? So you need to find out what is the initialization it should be. It can start from 0 or it can change to other numbers also. Depends on how you want to design it. Okay. So in this while loop, we have start and end process. So you need to check the conditions. This is the condition. So if it's true, so you have to do the task. What is the task inside the while loop? And then you have to repeat the process until you found that it is false. So when it is false, then it will end the while loop process, right? So that is the situations that we have in this while loop. Okay, let's see this example. Okay, we have initializations a equal to 3. Okay, then we have product 1. So there are two variables that is having initializations. So A limits is until 6 because this is less than 7, right? And then this is the task that supposed to be conducted inside the while loop. One is the multiplications, and then the loop must have an increment. Can see that this A equal to A plus 1. We have other way to do this coding, basically based on A plus equal to 2. This is much simpler, or you can use A equal to A plus 1 in the coding. It's up to you which one that you are familiar with, right? And then this is the task. Okay, the output display as follow. Now in you can have this one, replace that A equal to A plus 1. Can you see that the outputs of the product is the same, right? So that is the explanation for the while loop. Okay, for loop, this is most powerful loop, right? This is also one of the variable that is in after the for. Okay, that is in, right? And then there is range of the functions that you are supposed to know. This is the range, right? So in this range is and built-in functions in the Python. So you can create a sequence of numbers, right? So let's say I use for I in range 5. So do this task, print Vitrox, right? So basically the range will start and stop before 5, right? So this starts will be, this is I0, this is I1, I2, I3, I4. Okay, so the first Vitrox is I0. The last Vitrox is actually I4. So that is the meaning of range 5. Okay, so please don't be confused about this value inside your parenthesis of your range. Okay, so you can check here. To check the range, you can just call what is the range of this value. Then they will see here range is from 0 to 5, but you need to make sure that the last one, which is 5, is exclude actually. So it will be from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4, it will end that range. Okay, so how to use this for loop, you can see here, similar to while loop. Okay, we can have initialization. This is initializations if it's required, because if in the loop there is variables that you need to compute inside your for loop, so that variable you need to make sure is that variable has been initialized or not. Okay, so for examples, we have I. So this I will be used here. So this is the task that this while loop should this for loop should compute, right? The two variables are y and x, right? Y is the computed value. So x is the a variable that should be multiplied with I. So x should have initial value. That's why this part you have initial value before the for loop. Otherwise, there will be an error in this case. Right? So you can see the task here for I0. Okay, so this is I0, I1, I2, I3, I4. Okay, because we have range 5. So this is the task that they are supposed to compute the multiplications with number 7. Alright, and next one, we have initial value, sum. Okay, in this case, we have the list, right? A. This is the list. How we can check? Using this square bracket, right? So in this for loop, we don't have range. We don't have range because um, the range or the value comes from the list that you have declared before. Let's say here for x in A, so this A is declared before, right? This A is declared before. So you can just state as for x in A and then do this task. Okay, and then compute the sum and display. Okay, another way, we have range 5, right? To see this detail, what is I at the Vitrox, we have 0 until 4. So this is the meaning of the range. But you can design, if it's not in the numbers without the range value, you can design using list method. Okay, and we have nested loop. This is very uh, powerful for loop also. Let's see here. I have variables h, okay, as the list. So the list is yellow, big, tasty, and I have fruits, okay, which is the durian and banana. This is the list, and then I have nested loop. Why we call it nested? Because inside for loop there is another for loop, right? So the first, which is the outer for x in the in this edge, okay, we have to do this task for y in fruits, and then we have to display x and y. Okay, so the outcome will be first one, which is the adjoint, right? Yellow, yellow and durian, and then we have yellow and banana. See the partner, right? Yellow and durian, then we have yellow and banana, and then once yellow bananas is done, then we continue with big and durian, big and banana, also tasty durian, and also tasty banana. Okay, so that is the nested for loop case. Okay, next we have conditions. There are three design for these conditions. The first one is just a simple if statement, right? Just to compare. Let's say we have A2, B7, then using if, so you can use A less than B. This is something that using logic concept, and there is some comparisons or the boolean value that will be evaluated. So if this true, then this task will be conducted. Okay, so this is true, right? 2 less than 7, then we have this outcome. Second way you can design is using if else, right? If else, so we have values that we want to compare. First one if, last one is the else is actually is the last conditions. That means if it is not in the if situations, so other case will goes to the if will goes to the else conditions or the else situation. All right. Okay, the most important part using this condition is do not miss these kinds of symbols, otherwise it will be an error. Okay, this kinds of symbol is very important. The third types of if statement is with the existence of elif statement. Okay, for instance, first one we design if, second one is the elif, right, and then the last one is else. Okay, so using p less than q, p equal to q, and the other case that is not in the first two condition, we goes to this part. Okay, so this is using elif. Against, please make sure that you must have this kind of symbols in that at the end of the conditions. All right, next is the Python functions, right? Okay, in this Python functions, right, this is a proper way to design if we have more complicated problem. So using, we have several times that we can use in this Python functions, whether to declare a new functions with functions name or the input arguments, where in this case you must have some return value. Okay, so in this Python function, let's say we have some simple problem. Let's say you want to compute area of square, whereby the inputs of the sides of the side of the square will be given from the user, or maybe you can set on specific value. So you can define as the function using def. Okay, so that is the method to declare a new function. Okay, let's see several types of user defined function. First one is no input argument. Okay, no input argument means we have defined function, but inside this x is actually the name of the function. So inside these brackets or parentheses, it is empty. So we didn't put any variable inside. So due to this case, it is defined functions with no inputs, right? No input argument. Second type is function with input argument. Okay, so the function name in this case is origin, but inside this parenthesis there is input name variable. Okay, so this is the task, and then if we set that the task is print hello I am from, right? And then country one we assign is to be Malaysia, country two is Japan. So if the users choose that it is an origin from country two, so you can just call back origin country two. So the one displayed inside here will be input net that comes from your country two, which is Japan. So that's why the output here, hello, I am from Japan. Okay, data type is actually a function with arbitrary arguments, right? Arbitrary means there's some symbols you see in the parentheses. This is arbitrary. Okay, arbitrary. This arbitrary means that when you want to call back, right, there is some argument that you need to consider, right? In this case, these asterisk kids or arbitrary variables of the kids, right? The youngest child is Jerry is displayed because it notices that the output just comes from randomly either Thomas, Timothy, or Jerry. So in this case, we let uh, the Python compiler to choose, right? So that's why we call arbitrary. In other words, this arbitrary, it is random output that we ask it to be displayed. All right. Okay. So that's an example for functions with arbitrary arguments. Right. Okay. Next one, we have libraries in Python. All right. In the next sessions, we are supposed to conduct this data cleaning, right? Okay, we're supposed to conduct data cleaning. So these are important libraries that you should know what is the meaning of this library when you want to do some hands-on project after this. Okay, so the first one which is commonly used is the pandas, right? So this pandas library mainly will handle data structure and so on. We have also maths, we have numpy, we have matplotlib, we have cbond, and also we have stats models. I didn't list all as actually. So these five libraries are the one that will be used in our workshops, right? Okay, so we go through one by one. Okay, pandas library, how to use it? So you can just include, just start as the starting. You just use import pandas as PD. So PD refer to pandas. So in this pandas library, there are two main data structures. One is series, right? Series. Second type is data frame. So mostly we will use this data frame. So what is the difference between these two? Okay, so series is similar to one-dimensional array. Okay, while data frame can be seen as a table. So through this data frame, actually you can merge some information. You can take out from information from series. Okay, for examples, like we can use this information from series whereby there is an apples, then we have other series whereby there is a record of bananas, and then we can merge this series to be new as data frame. So this looks like we merge this series, right? And then from this merging, you can use that for the data analysis. Okay, next we have maths library. So this maths library actually involve computationals or specific mathematical functions. Like if you want to compute square root, then you need to use import maths. Okay, so this import maths before you use that functions. What are available functions under this library? Square root. You can have something like trigonometry functions, right? Um, if you want to evaluate something like floor or ceiling function, also you have to import this maths library of maths. Okay, next is numpy. Okay, so how to use this numpy? So just import numpy as np. Okay, before you use these functions. So what is numpy library? So this library is used for working with arrays. Okay, including if we work something like domain of the linear algebra, and also Fourier transform, or it can be matrices. Okay, some functions that is available under this numpy. Okay, create an array. So we have this in front, np.array. The function is array, but when you want to do the coding, you need to use np dot in front, okay, of that function. Okay, then we have to check dimensions, so using and d, okay, and dimensions. To check shape, we have x dot shape. X is just a variable name. Okay, to check size, we have x dot size. To check data type of the array, so we have used xd type. Okay, to read the first element, we use the square brackets, right? And which element that you want to use? Is it first element? So you should be 0. Second element should be 1, and so on. And then read only the first two elements, so we just put here some kinds of double dot to read only first two elements. Okay, so you have to use these kinds of codes. And then to save the array, you use np.save, right? So np.save, and then load the array using np.load x.npy. So usually to save the array using np.save, it will be saved in the default directory, right? Okay, next we have matplotlib. Okay, matplotlib it is compulsory when you work with data visualizations, something that you want to plot. And most often graph is line graph, scatter plot, histogram. Okay, so how to use? You just type import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. Okay, then you can use what other commands under this matplotlib. Okay, so this matplotlib, let's say we have declare this is the element for x, this is y, right? X 1 2 3 4, y is 10 20 30 and 40. Now we want to plot. Okay, so we use plt, right? This is for the plot. Okay, matplotlib in front. So this is the function plot xy. Then this is the outcome that you get. Okay. Um, Instead having dot plot xy, you can use plt dot show. Okay. It has the same task to display the graph actually. Right. In this matplotlib, these are some important remarks that you should know, especially when you want to design different um, visualizations with specific situations. Let's say you want to include the label or the legends. You want to make sure that the title of the graph is the center part. You want to make sure that the legend should be on certain location, maybe at the right and the top, or maybe on the left and at the bottom part, right? So that is under label and legend, right? So considering that we have this task, right? This plt the x label, you can create labels, something like I have creating the label as x-axis, okay, for x, y-axis for y, and then I can locate that the legend should display, okay, at the bottom and on the left side. Okay. So this is something that you need to include, okay, which is log equal to 0. So there is a meaning here. This legend is just, this legend is this one, huh? This is the meaning of the legend. Right. The location, if you just leave it empty, there's no log equal to 0, so they will not consider legend, they will display at the base one. Okay, if you want to change, let's say to upper right, okay, so this is the meaning. Okay, if in this brackets, if you just leave it empty, there's no log equal to 0, by default the Python will choose the best, this one. Okay, location code will be 0, so it will be like this one. So if you change log equal to maybe 1, just change 0 to 1, so it will be displayed as upper right. So your label will be displayed here. Okay, your label will be displayed because this is upper and right. Okay, so this is the code of the locations. Upper left is 2, lower left is 3, and so on. So that's the meaning. If you want to make it center, so you need to change log equal to 10. Right, so to have a scatter plot, we try again after this. I will just explain roughly. Yeah? Okay, so can use this PLT dot scatter. Okay, this is straightforward. There's other ways actually. Instead having this plot PLT dot scatter, you have other ways to do, right? So this one is under scatter plot. So if you want to plot the scatter graph, you must use matplot library, and this is an example of the histogram. Okay. In this histogram, we just let the Python compiler to create random array. Okay, in this situation, so this is an example for the histogram. Okay, next library is the Seaborn library. So how to use? You can just use import Seaborn as an SNS. So what is the Seaborn? So this Seaborn is actually built-in themes and color, and very useful if we want to estimate and plot statistical informations, such as the confidence interval, the regressions line, also kernel density. And through this Seaborn, we can allow the data frame to pass directly to Seaborn functions, and then you can use column names, okay, to specify the variables. Alright, so to some of the functions under Seaborn library is this one, his plot. So of course in front must be s and s dot. Okay, then we have k dot plot, that is for kernel. Okay, then we have distribution plot, that if we want to combine histogram and other types of plot. Okay. For the categorical plot, you can use box plot. Okay, this is to see the distributions of the categorical variable. You can have violin plot, you have bar plot, and also string plot. Right. We can have also relational. This is a very important one, especially scatter plot or line plot. Right, and then we will use the Seaborn in the heat map. Okay, after this you will try for this heat map. So heat map is actually visualizations for matrix like data, and also you can use phased plot such as phase grid. This is to show the grid of your graph, okay, of certain subplots. And then you can include the pair plot. Okay, next we have SciPy. So this is actually referred to scientific Python. Okay, to use it, you can include from SciPy import stats. So these stats, there are many actually, the library for this SciPy. One of the functions and commonly we use after this is this scipy.stats. So this is statistical distributions and the functions. One of the function that if you want to include is this stats model, right? So this stats models library is one of the library used to estimate and test the statistical models, including descriptive statistic. It can be hypothesis testing, and you can use it to describe the data, or maybe you want to see some kinds of regressions result. Okay, so this one, if through this sm.ols, so sm refer to the stat models. Okay, so we see this, we will use this one, stat models based on ordinary least square in our hands-on after this. Okay, so I finished brief about the Pythons. Okay, so then we can proceed to this cleaning. All right. Okay. So in this cleaning, you will use this in pandas library, right? So just now I have explained that you do the cleaning based on the pandas library. So you have to import this panda SPD. And then you need to know how to load the data set. So this is command prompt that you will try after this. Okay, df refer to the data frame, and then pd refer to your pandas, right? So this is the functions. Read the csv. So what types of files that you can read is actually you can read the csv. You can do something like txt file, okay, to merge and so on. But commonly in the today's workshop, you will try all of the csv file, right? Now the whole program should be start with import the library, and then you need to have the path. Okay, read the data set first before you start anything. So this is very important step, right? And then we have to see what you have to do with the data. Check, do you need to remove, or do you need to handle with some missing values? Let's check. Do For this missing value, do you need to replace it with the mean or replace it with the median, right? Okay, in this case, let's open your data. We will all try to open data set of sample data from your materials. The file should be sales data. Okay, open the CSV file. Okay, open the CSV files, and then observe the data inside your CSV. Can you understand what is about data, and also how about the attributes? All right, so do you, I believe that you have installed, right? Do you have Jupyter Lab in your computer now? Can I get feedback from you guys? Have you installed the Jupyter Lab? Yes, right. Okay. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay. All right. Is anyone haven't installed and need time to install the Jupyter Lab? No, right? I assume you can do, right? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I will demo how to start with Jupyter Lab. I believe that you have installed, right? And you can just search Anaconda prompt. Okay. So this is my view, right? Okay. You go do it together lah, so that no one is missing. Right. Okay. Open this part. All right. On the same time, I will want you to drag the files. Okay. Open this one. So then we have to type Jupyter Lab. Okay. This Jupyter Labs, I think this is maybe this 2 years or these 3 years quite famous. Okay, why we use Jupyter Lab, not Jupyter Notebook, right? So I am familiar with Jupyter Notebook, and this is new thing. So I would like to try a new uh, for me to teach to the students, right? So what is the important or maybe useful if we use Jupyter Lab? So let's say we do some analytics. Or maybe some kinds of project, you want to have some regressions model, and let's say after that first phase has been completed, then you want to move forward to the second phase where you want to deploy your models that you have developed. So in terms of deployment, you need to integrate to the system. Okay, so this data analytics, if we have quite good or very powerful project, you need to link something like integrate to the system. uh, so you can come up with for instance monitoring system, or you can have dashboard. Okay, so when it is being developed to the system, you can use this um, Python through Jupyter Lab. So if we use this Jupyter Lab, right, you can create different environments with different Python versions. Okay, for examples, you have environment 1, so you want to create environment 1 and do that any projects within the environment 1 using Python versions maybe 3.10. There must be a reason lah why you choose or differentiate between the versions. Maybe due to the specific functions of the system and so on, right? So if you have second environment, and then you want to create different programming language, maybe you want to use the latest one, which is 3.11 or maybe 2.12 and so on. Okay, so you can create your project between different environments and based on a specific versions of Python. Okay, so now we can start now, right? So we proceed here. Once you type this Jupyter Lab, just press enter. From takes time. Close a bit. Yeah, I'm not sure why this Jupyter Lab is not working. Right, you can try first. Let me solve. I'm not sure because did I open too much. Give me time. All right. Okay. Just done now. It's coming. Okay. You can type Jupyter Lab, and this is the print, right? Okay. Then it will link to this post. Okay, and you have this part. You have your view might be different with mine, but I believe you will through we will you will see the Jupyter server. Am I right? Okay, so before we start, let me brief about this Jupyter Lab. So this is functions that we have here. The view, we have several tabs here, right? Okay, so this is the way that if you want to create anything, open new file, so you can just click under this file tab. Even if you want to print something, whatever program, and you want to print it, you can print directly, or if you want to save it as PDF, so you can do all this. You can do the task under this file tab, right? Okay, and this Okay, let me create the first empty file first. You can create on the kernel just now, right? So in this edit, right, under edit tab, you can undo and redo, right? You can cut cell, copy cell, and so on. So actually you can see at this view also, right? um, you can clear the outputs, clear all outputs, and so on, right? So you can scroll these functions, right? And then we have view, right? So this view, the one that is currently active is on my computer, is the show status bar, and also show left sidebar, right? So you can change something like show right bar. So I have it here, okay. uh but this one I rarely use it, that's why I disable this function, right? So you can show line numbers, right? um you can have maybe simple interface or presentations mode, okay. So you can just uh see other functions here, okay. And then you can have runs, right? This run selected cells. So much faster, you can just click here, run selected cells, this kinds of display symbol, right? Play symbols here, okay. And do others, such as you can run selected cells and insert below, uh, and don't advance or current line in console, and you can have render all markdown cells, right? In the kernel, okay, this the kernel, you can have interrupt kernel, means something, if your workspace does not work properly, maybe when you try to run it, it looks like hang, okay, doesn't process correctly. So you can interrupt kernel and then you can restart back, okay, right. Okay, there is some kinds of activate tab, previous tab, next tab, and so on. And then if you want to see or change the theme, now I'm having light Jupyter Lab, so you can change it, okay. So see the changes here. So this is much interactive. If you are want to try or work with these kinds of dark, so you can change your theme, okay. You can change your theme. And then if you want to auto save documents, okay, you can set or to choose this one. You can try to increase or decrease the font size. At which part? Maybe at the editor font size, okay. Or you want to change at the terminal font, okay. So you can do increase terminal font or decrease it, right? you have sorry, you can have, see, all right, okay. At the theme, this is actually, we have other code font size, okay, and also content font size, right? So you can play around. So see, you can increase it, okay. See, that's my code says is having change of in terms of the font size, right? If you want to increase the user interface font size, you can choose this part, okay, or the other content font size, right? Okay, so this one is the to browse the file. You can see the browser file, and then this is the part if you want to launch a new, or if you want to create a new folder, or if you want to upload the files, right? So at the startings here, you have it your files from the materials, like the one that I give you from the Google Drive link, correct? Okay. um there is actually the steps is here. All right, the step is here actually. All right, okay. We will start hands-on number one now. Okay, start hands-on number one. Okay, I want you to there are two choice, whether you drag and drop the files in your local disk, right? Or you need to create a folder inside the Jupyter Lab. There are two ways, alright? I will show you how. Okay, so step number one. It depends on your choice, but don't do both, alright? Okay, so in step number one, if you choose number one, go to your local DC and then users. Okay, okay, so I will just find here. Okay, this one local DC, right? This one local DC. Okay, goes to your computer, then click on this local DC and users, right? Your display now currently at this user part might be different. I'm not sure because for my computer I have this user. Just now is users, right? Just now is users. Okay, I'll repeat. Inside this local DC, now I have users. Inside users, there is user. So this user might be changed. Not the same with yours. Maybe it is your name. I'm not sure how do you create your um, username, right? So for my case, it's user. Okay, so you have the folders that I give it to you. Jupyter Lab, right? You have Jupyter Lab, right? You have Jupyter Lab. For my case, I create names is Data Analytics Workshop. So you can copy and paste that Jupyter Lab materials in here. Okay, there is one way. Okay, there is method number one. Okay, if method number two, we go back. Okay, method number two is you create the first file, or you can try to upload the files, right? You can find the files that the file is your Jupyter Lab, right? Okay, you are supposed to upload this one, Jupyter Lab. Okay, all files in this, all files. There are lots of CSV, right? Only two Python notebook files. Okay, you have to upload all these files. Okay. Okay. Try to do method number one. So I'll give you time. I give you time, right? So the reason is in these folders, right? If you click on this, right, users in this C, this is my files in the C. So when I goes to these users, my file is on different names. Okay, my folders is data analytics. Yours should be Jupyter Lab, right? So all files should be on the same locations. Okay, see, all files should be on the same folder or same locations here. Right? Okay, I give you time to do. So please respond once you're done before we start. Alright, give you time to do. Please respond once you're done, just let me know. You have problem, let me know if you have problem. Okay, just respond if you're done. Okay, just respond once you're done. Okay, is anyone need help? Let me know. Maybe you're having problems, so I can guide you. You can share your screen. Do you want? Okay, if anyone wanted to share your screen. If you have problem, let me know. Alright, do you want me to help? Is anyone need my help to check? Alright, see, Tarani, you have a problem with the Jupyter Lab? Aurelio, Ka Wai Chen or Justin Chia, you have problem with Jupyter Lab? No problem, right? Alright, right. So you have create the files, right? Okay, okay. Alright, so go back now. Okay, so if you want to create new file, just to guides, let's try. You just click on the kernel just now. Mm, okay. Let me demo again. Okay, so click in this one notebook. Then you see the Python 3 IPy kernel. Then you have this workspace. Okay, so you can try and type anything. You can type anything that you want to try. Okay, just type and then you just click on this part, run. Okay, so if you want to save it, you can just click here. Because just now I have said automatic save documents, right? Okay, this one I already tick. So this files will be automatically saved. Okay, if you want to rename this file, okay, you just type here rename, change the name. Okay, you can change the name. Now I will close it. Just this card. Alright, so the files that we will try is we do hands on number one, right? The files is actually sample data. Sample data.csv. So you have to see it carefully in your folder. Okay, sample. So in your folder, right? Jupyter Lab folder. Mm, the files is here. Samples. Sorry. We have sales data. This is sample data. Sample data.csv. Now you can open it. Right. Okay. So you can open this one. This sample data.csv. Now we have attributes in terms of the name, the age, the department, and also the salary, right? So the name is categorical data. So this age is the quantitative and continuous. The department is also qualitative data. The salary is quantitative and continuous. Now, how many samples we have in these data sets? Basically, we have 50 samples. If we scroll down, right, because uh, this is 50 samples, so you can check lah all of the samples, right? But if you have big data, maybe 10,000, right? So it's very difficult to observe which data is missing or incorrect one, right? So in this data, you can see we have some item. This is duplicate, right? This data is duplicate, and you see in the salary, it is missing. Is this missing? This is missing. In this age, this is also missing. Okay, this is missing item, also missing. uh, we have others also. Person number 35, so the salary is missing, right? Person number 42, and then we found these duplicates, and there's other also age is missing for person number 49. So this issues is very critical, right? Because we have to solve this part, what to do with the salary and what to do with some duplicates, and also some missing informations in the age, right? Okay, so as I explained just now, right? For this item that in your attributes, when the data is having duplications, right? So you need to drop the duplicates one, and then through this coding, the f dot drop underscore duplicates in brackets in place equal to true. Okay, for the item that is missing, you have to do some kinds of age. This age will be replaced by the mean. Okay, average means. And then for the salary will be replaced by the median. Okay. Right. um okay, so for this hands-on number one, so this is the steps or the task. You are supposed to read the data, so I have do that for you, and check the info. So which data that is required for cleaning, normalizations, and transformations. Okay. um So we already identified that there is some item is missing in the salary, also in the age, and then we have duplication in terms of the name, right? Okay, so in this process, you are supposed to proceed with some kinds of exploratory data analysis, right? So after you do that process, you have to analyze, right? Okay, so see here. Okay, because the previous data is having problem, there's some data is missing and also having duplications, so we cannot start this EDA, right? So you have to proceed. You have to do with data cleaning and check what are the things that we should do. Okay. All right. Now we refer back to this Python. Actually, you are supposed to create. So create the files hands-on number one. Okay. Okay. So you create hands-on number one. Okay. Hands-on number one. Okay. All right. So what you are supposed to do? Okay. You can just copy because I give you the files, right, in PDF. So it is easy for you to copy. So the codes that you should copy is from the previous slides. For the cleanings, first part is you have to import the data sets. You can just copy this part from here to here, right? And okay, paste it. Right. Okay, so we have data, so the data is in the CSV file, so you must have read. So we ask the compiler to read the CSV file through this path. Okay, this is the path, right? Okay, because I copied, right? Just copy and paste, so there's some this part you need to replace it with the single quotes, right? Okay, df refer to your data frame. Then PD because we are importing pandas as PD. So the task to read the CSV is the functions that belongs to the PD, which is pandas, right? So once you're done, okay, see this is locations, right? So they must be in the CSV files that you want the compiler to read should be on the same locations, same directory with your project, which is hands-on number one, right? By default, when we click at the Python kernel, it will be saved as Python notebook. Okay, so once you're done, you can just click run. Okay, so it means that it's okay. If you see some kinds of asterisk symbol on the left part, it means that it's still run. Okay, it means that it's still run. Right. So okay, and then you can copy this code. We want to settle for the duplicate first, right? You can copy these codes uh, and paste it to the cells. You can use Control C to copy and then Control V. Right. Okay. Okay. Before that, before that, before I settle for the duplicates, right? I want to see the details for the files lah, right? Okay, you can have the okay. This is through this command, right? df.info, right? Okay, this code df.info, it is other way. Let's say you don't want to open this CSV file, right? Or maybe this your CSV file contains big data, right? So it's very difficult to observe lah what is the missing item and so on. So through this df.info, right, can see that these are actually our attributes, right? We have name, so we have 50 samples. None noun, that means all are have been filled. But for this age, we have 45. So that means 5 items under this attribute is missing. okay, or having some issues. For the departments, all are filled, so no issues, none now. For the salary, we have 45, so 5 items is missing under this salary, right? So this is a much faster way, so you can just use it df.info, right? So df is whatever declare lah. So if, let's say this df you create with other name, so you have to replace with that name here, okay. Okay, so we see that some item is missing, but we settle first for the duplications, because in the list we have find out there is some item that is duplicates, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, now when we try continue after we do after this df.info, right? So this df.head, they will see some important items at the heads, uh, the first 5 items that we can see here, right? This persons having missing, so they'll show is as none, right? And then there is item here duplicates, so they see the duplicates here, so that we need to settle these issues for duplicates, right? So in this case, to settle for that duplicate, you need to do this part, okay, df the dot underscore duplicates, and in brackets in place equal to true, right? So you have to do that one first, and then uh, we have to handle the missing values, okay. You can copy this code first for the age, okay, control C, okay, this one you can uh, okay, run first. Alright, so that is to settle the duplicates one, correct? And then you can settle for that missing item. Right, to do for that missing items, right, we need to decide, because each is there is some range you can see here, so we want to fill in either mean, median, mode. So this can be for numericals, right? In this age you can fill in with the mean, for instance, or you can fill in with the median, right? Okay, so for this the age, right, so I want to see which attribute, so I will just put df in brackets, right, age, and then dot fill in df age with the means. So this is the proper way, yeah, with the mean. So if we decides with the median, so you just change this one as the median, right? And then comma in place equal to true, okay. So you can run this part, right? Now it's settle everything. Then we need to do for other similar case for the salary, alright? So you can just change this part. Okay, then paste it here. Okay, now settles. Now how to check whether this is okay or not, right? Okay, one way we run back, we run back the df.info. Right, now you see that the missing items now has been changed, right? Now we have all 50s. So there is one way to check, or you can have, okay, so you can have these codes to check whether is any item is empty. So through this df dot if now brackets dot sum, right? Then you run. So no items is having missing. So this is to check if there's any item is missing. Okay, so if we want to show display back all the samples, now we have 50, so it's okay for us to check all data. Okay, so you can run these codes, right? df.i locations, this double quotes comma double quote followed by -1, and run it, then you see all the details here. Okay, so in this case, right, you can see all items here, right? This -1 means that we want to display all items, but don't do this one if you have big data, right? If it's very small samples, then it's okay. Right, so if you want to copy, actually I provide you some Python notebook that you can copy and paste, but not all. But for hands-on one, I want you to create one by one lah. So you can open this trial Python notebook, right? This trial notebook, okay? So you can copy the one that I provide to you just now. Okay, no need to type everything. Okay, so this is actually the case that you can try. Okay, so it's actually the same thing you see. Okay. All right. So we have done to read the files, and then you have tried with the head, the f dot heads, and then we have tried with the duplicates, and then fill in with the mean. For the salary, we choose to fill in the missing item with the medians, and then you have familiar with the f dot info to see is there any changes, and then see for any empty files using the f dot is now. Okay, and then we have locate all bags using these kinds of ilog. Okay, okay, so basically you have done hands-on number one, right? All right, is there anyone is having problem? Okay, is there anyone want to try or share something? If you have start, please let me know. All okay? You guys all okay with the hands-on number one? Show lah. Okay. You went there at which part? Okay, let me share. Let me share. Okay, no problem. I can share. The last one. This is last one lah. Alright, is that okay? Okay. So I think just to recap back for this hands-on number one, okay, make sure you start with importing the pandas, right? Import pandas as PD, and then you need to define your data frame. Actually, the data frame you can change with other names that you want, as long as you know what is the data frame that you have created, right? And then you need to assign this dot read underscore CSV, okay, and then change it, right? So this is actually should followed by dot slash, then your file name, then dot CSV. Okay, actually we can do for JSON file or also TXT you can do. Okay, but in today's workshop we only consider for CSV file. Okay, so and then there's, you check the df.info to see items. Okay, check your number of data, right? See if there's any item is missing, and maybe the data type itself lah, whether it is correctly or not. All right, and then check on the df.head, so they will just display the first 5 items on your data sets. And then we need to see if there's any duplicates. Duplicates means that maybe person number 4, person 4 uh 27 marketing, this number, right? You have another person number 4 27 marketing, same number, so that is the meaning of duplicates. Is it? So we need to drop lah these duplications, right? Okay, so in this case just to make sure if there's no items is missing after the dropping, right? So from this mean is and the median, this is due to your age and the salary. So this age we choose mean method to replace the missing value, and also for the salary we choose median, right? You can choose either one lah, right? uh, for filling the missing values. Okay, so this is the attribute salary. So then fill in with the salary dot median. So if you choose to replace mean for the salary, so you just change this one, mean, right? Then followed by in place equal to true. Okay, then you run back df.info. Is there any changes, right? Okay, see okay, so then we have this part. Okay, now the number of item has been changed lah, none now, so all are complete 50. Okay, so that difference just now has been filled in by proper items, which is filled in by the median and the mean method. Alright, so this is other ways actually to check if there's any item is empty using if now. So this line number 9 is actually you can do earlier lah. Alright, you can do earlier before after heads, or before heads or after the info and so on. Okay, to check if there's some items missing. Okay, so once you're done, you can display all items, all attributes in your data using ilog, right? So this one, -1, this means that display all from the last items, right? All. So these are data that has been displayed, right? So in this part, right, I created already the steps, so you can just copy and paste for you to start with hands-on number 1, right? Then we do hands-on number 2 later lah after the break.
Hi, doctor. May I know that for the last output, right, is it the missing column for the salary part?
Plus output.
Yes, this one.
Uh, okay. We don't want this item as actually. This one we don't want this item. Item this negative one is salary, so we didn't display this salary. Okay, let's see the changes here. Ah, okay. That means just now I put negative one kan. So you can display all, but just now I want to remove the last attribute, so I just put negative one. So they cut off the salary part. So if I didn't put negative one, they display all the new one. Okay, all right. So in the last part, if you want to display all attributes, so just leave it empty. But if you want to remove some attributes, so let's say I want to remove the salary, so you just put here negative one. Okay, if you want to display all, you can just leave it empty, then run back lah. Okay, any other items, any questions that you want to ask? I not sure. Alright, so that we already asked. Alright. Use one. What's your problem? You want to share your screen? Encounter some problem at the start. Use one. You want to share your screen or not? What's your problem that you face? Alright, alright. mm, uh, okay. Can you yeah, videos. Sample data. Okay. Do you want to? Can you go to your local DC? In your computer, right? uh you see the folder in the desktop, you can see local DC and so on, your document download and so on. Do you get what I mean? Okay, you go to your computer, you can see search type or open any folder on your computer, not inside your Jupyter lab, outside. When you want to find and you want to open any files, right, in the folder, not inside your Jupyter, outside. All right. You mind to share your screen because cannot see which part that you open. Not sharing the windows. Do you mind to share your screen? Can you share your screen so that I can see what happened in your computer? Okay. Yeah. Go folder. Yes. Go to the C. You click on this PC. Go to that C. Excel C. Users. Fiore. I think your name is Fiore. Okay, what folder? Jupyter Lab. I don't see that file is here, right? You scroll down. Okay. You have the files, the Jupyter Lab. Where is it? Where did hmm, you need in the folder? Not Jupyter Lab. Do you download from the drive, right? Can I see your download? Alright. Okay, that Jupyter Lab, the zip files, right? Double click. Okay, you go right click. No, no, no. Back. Right. You have to extract as a folder. Extract all as a folder. Uh, you browse. Make sure it's on download, right? Jupyter Lab. Okay, just extract. All right, copy as folder. Now this one copy as copy. Yep, copy. This is zip or what? Okay. You are supposed to copy kan? I think I copy it. Is it zip file? Cannot copy Not sure why cannot. You already extracts, right? Okay. Go back to your computer. Never mind. We go back to your computer. Go back to the user one. Right. Okay, users. Fiori. Alright. You create the Jupyter Lab name. Create new folder. Create new folder here. Yep. No, just right click. Yeah. Folder. You can create, let's say, data analytics workshop. You mind to do that? Okay, go back to the download. Alright. You copy the file that you have trial, trend analysis, sample data. Not the folder, just a single file. Yes. You can copy the one that is, sorry, the one that is duplicate. See the trend analysis is duplicate, I think. Just delete first. The trend analysis one, sample data one, sales data one, sales data pattern one. Or the one you delete first. Yep. You delete first the one. Okay. So you copy trend analysis, okay, until employee data, except the folder don't want, the folder don't want. Okay. You can use control and click click the fast and press, you click control on your keyboard from the trial, right? From the trial. You click. On the same time, you press Control on your keyboard. Yep. Copy all the single file. You are using cursor, right? Click cursor and Control. You see the Control on your keyboard. So you click. No. It look like Shift, right? See Shift on your keyboard, right? You have keyboard, right? You see that you find out your Control key. Control key on your keyboard, right? Alright, okay. Okay. You click from trial until employee, right? And with control, and trend analysis. Okay, you can cut and paste lah. Bring it to the folder data analytic workshop. You can choose cut and paste or copy and paste. Right. Viewers for this. Yeah, Jupyter Lab. Correct. Sang Yiwen, yes, correct. Because your folder is Jupyter Lab. Yep. Alright, is there anyone having problem? Right. Right. Okay, thank you. Right. So let's see. You already done, right? Okay, thank you. No problem. Right. Alright. Okay. Use one. Alright. You can stop sharing. Alright. Okay. Okay, I think we will have a break for lunch earlier than what we expect from the schedules because our topic is on EDA. So this EDA actually is at our 2 o'clock sessions. All right. So do you mind if we have a break now? Lunch break, is that okay? Is that okay if we have a lunch break now? We will resume back at 2 o'clock. We will start with exploratory data analysis. Okay, okay. Thank you for the feedback. So I will see you after this at 2 o'clock. All right. I see you again, yeah.